Good evening, guys. Ken of Tortoise Capital. This is the strategy podcast. We're going to do a quick speed run through the trades of the day. I talked a little bit about these already in some individual videos. So this was just a quick narration. Gap up, tried long, scratch, tried short, scratch, crossed the dragon with the RLXD, bought it, bought a second position, tightened up the stop here as we're coming into lunch. This is UDOW. This is that same one. So those are the two positions. It was tightening up, so but didn't collapse. Bought a third one. Cashed. It came down and started to recover. So right in here, I framed it. I said that I would play the breakout from the yellow box after the P1. That was my target on the downside. This is my target on the upside. I bought it coming out of the box. So that's this one here. So bought it coming out of the box. I'm sorry, this is Boeing. Pardon me, Boeing. So 2 scoops long. Buying the RLXD, the emerging dragon after taking out the 2 tops. RLXD sideways quiet channel. Bought the breakout. This was my stop at the bottom of the box. So took the execution loss. Came down. I framed this to go long. By this time, I'm at no lose plus dinner for 2 in the usual way. This is Home Depot. Gap up. Bought the emerging dragon as it crossed the RL270. Second position when it takes out the Z3 limit. Bought this one on the basis of money management. Took the second RLXD, set up the trade frame, and was ready to trade this breakout. I didn't the rest of the day. Just had other things going on, but that was what I was prepared to do. This is Chevron. So this is a pocket entry. I just want you to notice there's the gap up, the sell off. So now we have the trading range between the hump of the 10 and the belly of the 10, and that's like 25 cents, or no, I guess it's $1. I guess it's about $1. So buy this one, buy the emerging dragon Z3 breakout, buy the next Z3 breakout, and cash the RLXD on money management, and as it's coming back to the RL270. This one was real estate. So we had just put the swing trade on too. So this was part of a core and turbo technique. So gap up, sells off, takes off, buy it as it crosses the VWAP and takes out the hump of the 10. Buy it, and 2 horns of the dragon outside Z2 and collapse. Cash it. Try long again and scratch it. Nothing. Buy the dip and lock this in for gains. That pays for the swing trade that we'll see a little bit later. This is Mexico. Tried short on the spike. This spike down, I thought it was just running away and going to fail, so I got it at the bottom. Covered the loss for 1 hour loss at the when it crossed the VWAP, and the stop and reverse. Comes into a Z3 quiet, Z3 breakout by a second position. Play the RLXD in a relaxed way. Bought it long here. This took off, and so that was easily managed. This was UDOW, Antonio Trevino, who, a lawyer in Mexico. This was his very first trade case study. Well done. He buys UDOW with a tight 50-cent stop, exits for 2R, tries long scratches, half an R loss, whatever. Pretty good. He's starting to mark it up with some lessons learned. Well done. He's got a coaching session in the chat room. This was that UDOW trade where we'd had the multiple gains up. Took this one, it came and sold off, so I framed it as a box, bought it. By this point, I get to no lose plus dinner for 2. That's where I'll add a second position. It didn't come down and test the VWAP. Today's trades. This was the S&P up 6.2. UDOW up 18%. Everything is now moved over into the summer. Hey, my kids got a 40-year time horizon. I put their whole IRA, their IRAs into UDOW at 27. Don't do that. So UDOW, Boeing, Chevron, Cisco, Real Estate, Home Depot, Virgin Galactic, Finance, all these things better than the S&P. Things that got smashed today: Wynn, Alcoa, Tesla, Simon Property Group, Silver, Walmart. Just can't figure that out. The daily trade today then, so we've had 1, 2, 3 days up. Here was the 1 day range, and it closed at the top of the range at 262. Remember, Monday, this thing was down at 220, so it's up $40 on 220. That is, that's about a 15% weekly move. So we are now 10, 20, 25% from the swing high. Here's the 10-day range, the 30-day range. Monday's open. It went into spring today. So we still have a short side bias, but this is now speculative possibilities. This is sort of a reinforcement of the risk Z is already a couple days. Look how good the risk Z was, turning at 4 sigma and is in the spring, and was saying that we could start speculating on some swing trades and taking the long side. So how good is that indicator? And now in this one we have the MACD 4 Seasons has gone to spring. We had the P1. The dragon had come all the way out of the river. Rare. Now the dragon is rolled up. The 30 is just about ready to roll up. So tomorrow will be an owl entry. And then that target is back at 312. And then the peak at 335, which is all within range. So that's all significant stuff. On the downside, the 1 day low, the belly of the dragon, the belly of the 30, the belly of the 10, Z minus 2, and then Z3 is all the way down here at 176. So we will respect all of those price levels. But then on the upside, it's the 1 day high. This is a, what is that one? That's a 10-day high. I'm sorry. Duh. Staring right at it. If a snake, it would have bit me. Then we have Bollinger Band Mean in the RL90. We have a previous belly resistance here. And we have the fair value. And we have Z1. And then we have the peak of the RL270. And then the peak of the dragon in the 10. Which is also a 30-day high at 335. What's interesting is that on the auto framer, there's just not that much left. This used to have 50 entries in it. And oil, Walmart, Procter, real estate, Brazil, and silver all now starting to provide opportunities on the return to the 10-day high. Those are all now frameable on swings, in my view. That's that. Let's do a portfolio speed run. Oops. Hey, just while I'm here, I'm interested in how the guys are putting together their little swing. I'm not a forex guy, but this is just me. If I look at the U.S. and yen, the dollar yen, and I look back far enough, look at this. This line here is the middle of the congestion area, and then lately this was a swing high, and now a Z3 excursion, and then this one was a previous belly of the dragon, and then this is also going to be a belly of the dragon. So in between those lines, look at how violently this thing moves. Once it turns and it crashes through there, big crash, rejection, big crash, big bounce, big crash, big bounce. So today, I'm not like I said, I'm not a forex guy, but if I saw that, I bet you I would be short this thing at 110.45 and collected it at 108.72. That's $1.50 in a 1 day directional. And this thing's going to come all the way back here, and it's going to fair value. It already came through fair value. And now if it crashes here, it's going to go PSAR flip all the way down to here. But notice how good the dragon was. And you have the RL10 to the RL10, P1. This is the, let me show you where the owl entry is on this thing. Right there. Here's the RLXD entry on the PSAR flip. If you guys don't do that in Forex, I just don't know why. And then look at, now you get the peak of the 10, you got a 1, 2, why not? Why not just take that on a 1 day low after you bank that, especially when you know that that is a limit. There's a limit to how far the US and the yen can get out of balance between each other. Just look at how this thing oscillates between those 2 points. I'm not a Forex guy, but that makes sense to me. Now, look what else you can do in this TC2000 bundle. If I go by, watch Daily Springs and Daily, I'm sorry, yeah, is it Daily Spring or Daily Summer? Yeah. Now, all of these have been in daily summers. So the Swiss yen, and that rolled over and got smashed today. So all the things that have been dominating on daily summers, they all rolled over today in a big way. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. And all the things that were in daily winter either had big days or getting ready to have big days. And daily springs, I'd be looking at these right here. So now, so if you go by the daily change, these are all the things that are in the spring and had big days and are taken off. There's our Aussie pound dollar. God dang. Why wouldn't you just buy that? And the Aussie dollar. I'm not a Forex guy, but that's what I did with the Aussie dollar. That's the only pair I've been even playing with. And that's the one I took. That thing's going to go. So these currencies look pretty interesting to me. And then if you find the things that were murdered, a lot of these things were the ones that were in daily summer. Everything that was in a daily summer with the exception of ZAR, whatever the hell that is. But every one of these got murdered today. That's a big turning point in the shift in economies. So, just saying. Hey, while I got you here, here's... so my brother and I are doing some speculations. This is Ruger. Now, this is not a... he likes Ruger because he likes handguns. That's in the... So he asked me to evaluate these. Spring, well into the spring, and ready to break out. That's not bad. Litton Industries. Look at this one. This one tracks... makes batteries for Tesla. This thing was trading at 33, got as low as 17. It's just getting ready to cross the dragon and a PSAR flip today. You can buy that tomorrow right there. And target here. It gets better. These two are cannonball This one has traded. This one IPO'd and went up to 150. Yeah, 150 from an IPO of 25. Healthcare stock. Think people are going to need it? Yeah. This thing has gone from 2, and today closed at 7. Was up 50% today. You think there's going to be more? This was just the PSAR flip. If you just take the previous Bollinger Band main, 18, I will be buying some of that tomorrow. Or trading that trading range right there. And I may just take it like this in either direction. C-Web. That's a China internet bull. These are the guys that own part of Zoom, but I think I would play that one. And this is going to 26. So I think that's reasonable. So just some things for my brother we're looking at. Speculations. Completely different than what I normally do, but I know an opportunity when I see one. Personal list, boot camp, speed run. Alcoa, we took our exit today. Apple, still good to go. Oh, sorry. Pardon me. I got to show all the drawings. Yep, there we go. That was short and covered, long and tightened up the stop here. Aussie dollar, long from here. That's going to go. I've already showed you why I think that's the case. Boeing, America decided to bail them out. Hey, I got to tell you how bad that bailout bill is. Here's how bad that is. They're going to give $300 billion to small businesses and tell them you can only be forgiven that loan if you keep all your people on payroll, which means they're going to keep the people on the payroll so they don't have to pay back the loan, and they're going to keep them there for 6 months. That's how much money's in the kitty, and that gets them through the election, and that will reduce unemployment, and then they'll all suck. Meanwhile, okay, so that's $300 billion for small businesses. Individuals got a one-time payment of $1,200. So once again, the people got screwed. Small businesses got a token, but then $450 billion is given to the Fed to create a lending facility that's going to be administered by BlackRock, so it can be leveraged 10 to 1. So that $450 billion is going to become $4.5 trillion. That's going to go to large caps, to the same management that screwed us in the first place and put us in this condition, requiring a bailout. There will be no accountability for those guys because there's a 5-man oversight committee with an inspector general with no staff and no subpoena power, and they cannot even look at the loans until after they're made. So nothing's going to be done. 5 people trying to supervise $4.5 trillion of loans. Give me a break. Now, the large corporations do not have any restrictions about firing people. So the same people that brought you this crisis are now going to take that money. They're going to do mergers and acquisitions. They're going to pump up their stock price. They're going to pay their executives. They're going to buy all the small businesses that can't survive because of the economic slowdown, but are who are carrying their employees for the next 5 or 6 months. So they're going to use all this government cash and taxpayer cash, and you're going to see a increased centralization into the large cap companies. There will be no Medicare for all. Banks will have no accountability where I am absolutely disgusted. But the way to trade this thing is that's why the Dow is kicking big ass right now, and that's why I put all the kids' retirement funds into the triple leverage Dow at 27, and that closed today at 45. On the news of the bailout, I bought Dow at 27, right there. And now it closed at 45. So this is business as usual. We're going to see this in 3 to 10 years. We're going to see the next round of atrocious behavior. There will be no rewiring of the economy. I'm just absolutely disgusted. But there it is. So, Aussie dollar. Boeing, second position was in yesterday, moving the stop up here into halfway up the stack. Caterpillar is above our diagonal line, bought the second position today, moved the stop up. Cliff got long today, the stop is here. Cisco bought our third position here, moved the stop up to here. I'm sorry, bought our second position, excuse me, this was covering the short. So we got long here, second position added at the purple line today, moved the stop 2/3 of the way up. Cut took our second position, moved the stop up to the PSAR. Chevron took our third position. This is going to dominate. Stop there. Devon Energy took our a long position here. Stop remains at like the 2-day low. Emerging markets, long one, move the stop halfway. EFA, long position here, move the stop halfway up the of today's stack. Japan got our third position in today, move the stop halfway up the stack. They're going to do well. Mexico took our second long position here, move the stop halfway up the stack. Brazil, we're trading intraday only, but I like the behavior. There will be a PSAR flip tomorrow. Home Depot, third position long, moving the stop just above the entry. So we're right here, just above that entry. So 3 positions long. So we're in at 166, 173, and 192. So an average price of about 175, and it's at 195 on 3 scoops. Big win. Russell, I would trade that just intraday right now. Real estate, I took a long position today finally. This is where I wanted to and I couldn't figure out why. I had to today and then moved the stop up above the entry. McDonald's, long one, moved the stop to the PSAR, the top skin of the dragon. Clean energy, just moved the stop up to the PSAR in the 1-day low. Silver, I'm just watching it. I will trade this breakout in either direction, that doji at the end of a nice run. Virgin Atlantic, we had a long and cash re-entered here at the open, and then as it took off again, so we're long from 1647, stop at 1535. I think it's going up here. Simon Property Group, I'm ready to trade the breakout from here. Treasuries, I just don't understand it. We got out of it yesterday. I'm just watching. Tesla, we're long from here. Stop is here. Don't believe in it. Oil, took the long here. It's underwater slightly, but the stop is still here. I think it's okay. Volatility just got smashed. 1 day a rebound, and now is starting that long decay. This thing is the inverse of that. SPXY. That's that long decay of volatility trade. Watch for that thing. That's a tell. Walmart, I haven't been able to get short it for 3 days in a row. It finally turned around a little bit today. I'm not ready to buy it yet, but I guess I am. This is how I would trade that one. I think I'm now ready to get this like that. That's what I would trade. Wheat and precious, I'm going to play the breakout in either direction. Win, we're 2 positions long, moving but it closed poorly. I'm holding out one more. That could bite me in the ass. I should have gotten out today. Pardon my language. Unprofessional. This should be green. We re-entered U.S. Steel. So U.S. Steel, we had 2 long cashed today at here, but then it rebounded, and as it was going up, I just bought it again. So my entry is back into it at like $6, and I like U.S. Steel again. Materials, 2 scoops long, moving the stop halfway. Energy, I like it, moving the stop halfway. Finance, we're 2 positions long, moving the stop to halfway. Technology, 2 positions long, and I move my stop to just above the second entry. Healthcare, love these guys now. Long 1, long 2, and move the stop to just above my entry. So that's the speed run. Tortoise Daily. I've already seen all that. Still bear volatile, but we're now overbought on the 10 and the 3-day look back. Risk C rolling up. This is 11% improvement. These are the ones that, if there is a rollover, would be the candidates to go short on the overreaction short. But I would wait to, I would not take the mechanical entry short on those. I would wait to see actual failures. The max pains are the ones that still have room of gains to the upside. So Walmart, I think, is now ready. Walgreens, Procter, Coke. That's the real estate, Mexico, UDOW. I love UDOW right now, man. And oil. Simon Property Group, Devon Energy. Only a handful of dojis, some big movers today. I would still be playing the primary indexes and then the speed run candidates. Oil is still 5-1. Treasuries have pulled back quite a bit. Now the worst thing below its Bollinger Band mean is now 4 sigma. Remember, that used to be 8 sigma a while back in the peak pain. All the standard mechanical trade framings for the ones that are going to go retest the 10-day high. So oil, Walmart, 4 and 5-1. You've already seen. Oh yeah, the lots of things now in the spring. Everything's in the spring. Everything is in the has rolled up. These are the big winners on the 10-day and the 3-day look back. So I would kind of be looking at these candidates for follow through momentum. There's Boeing, Nike, Intel, Cisco, CAT, and then on the ETF side, it's the materials, consumer discretionary. The internationals are now starting to play catch up as they follow the U.S. lead. That's a nice big move there. Here's the it was at 4 sigma stretch, and now the slope stat is crossing its own 10-period moving average at 4 sigma below the long-term average. So that is sort of like the official turning point. That's the turning point. That's the turning point in the stretch stat. That's how horrible things have been. But volatility is starting to roll over. That's why the SVXY trade is very interesting now. The 90 is bottomed out here at 4 sigma. Finance was the worst inverse trade. And that's why I think these are the sharpest trend reversals. So finance, materials, UDOW, that's where I'm concentrating. It's the reversal from those extreme ADX conditions. So we can use ADX as the extreme trend in one direction. When it reverses, has the biggest possibility for the rebounds. So that's why I'm looking at those. And you've seen me in 3 out of those 4 already on the swing. Okay. Let's see. Is that everything I wanted to say? Yeah, Luke, it's crazy. I'm embarrassed for my nation. We had a chance to rewire our economy and protect the little guy, and we are screwing the citizens. And that $4.5 trillion thing didn't even give enough money, really, to repopulate healthcare and the equipment. And the supply chain, there's nothing in that bill that's going to drive us to fix our supply chain, which is so vulnerable to overseas manufacturing. All of this smack talk about, we're going to get all this stuff produced, it's all coming from overseas. We can't make anything in this country anymore. So like when Apple decided they were going to contribute masks, they went out and sourced it. That means they don't have factories that can make anything. And until we invest in a 20-year program of rebuilding our ability to produce, we're not a serious nation. But we're going to go trillions of dollars into debt and try to keep alive this house of cards and keep the donor class protected in their Wall Street investment funds. That's what this is That's what this bailout is for. So that's the way I'm trading it, but I'm disgusted by it. Shame on us. But that's what happens when you're an empire. That's everything I got tonight, guys. Take good care of yourselves. Let me just point out. So what I'm doing in the if you're still hanging around and listening, this is what I'm doing with the learning management system. So I just built out the. Let's see, do I even have it on there? It's not in here. Hold on. So we're building out these courses right now. So I just built this one today, the Daily Strategy Coronavirus Live Case Study. So I'm building out this thing. So this course, Live and Dynamic, tracks the nightly strategy podcast that we've been doing each night through the COVID-19 crisis to show how we adapted and thrived in real time. So I'm going back to March 5th and started putting in all the strategy podcasts, the portfolio speed runs, individual coaching sessions on trading, and then as things got really bad, getting into those nightly strategy podcasts, and then including some of the intraday trades, and then culminating in things like on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, these intraday speed runs to show how we get this thing done. So there's already about 25 hours worth of how to plan and frame and prepare and execute in one of the 3 existential crises moments of the last 30 years. And we have been thriving on this. I mean, we've been doing double-digit R's every day in both directions. And this is how you do it. So this is going to be, so I'm documenting this into a standalone study course. It's going to be part of the library card approach. So when I do the library card approach, people are going to be able to get all of these courses for one fee. So if you look at the Patreon, I just added a $400 a month one for the coach and called it the coaching level. So on that one, you'll get the gold membership plus access to this, and then that'll be $400 a month. And so that's about $5,000 for the whole year. So you get gold and then all access to all of these on a monthly basis for as long as you are a member in good standing. You'll have access to all of these. The TC2000 case studies, that daily strategy. I'm just going to keep building that out every day, adding new content. When Doc Morrison gets his Forex 1.0 and 0.8 in there, this first 50 nuggets is Catherine's beautiful first. She's a black belt in Tortoise strategies, and she did her first 50 aha moments with a combination of sketches and narrative to really internalize things. I've got about 150 flashcards to talk through. The 37 strategies will be built out. The Tortoise Boot Camp is already built. That has all of these courses and lesson plans already built. The ecosystem, the various boot camp videos, visual box trading, multi-time frame, multi-lens analysis using core and turbo frames, all of that stuff. So those are going to be part of that coaching monthly category on Patreon. And then there will also be a detailed discussion of the daily and the weekend report that shows how to come on now. Yeah. This weekend, the daily report and the weekend report is I'm going to go through that this weekend in elaborate detail. Talk about every page, about every opportunity. And because there's probably 30 different strategies at different time frames that may resonate with different people. And I can't cover them all except in a machine gun fashion when I cram it into a live workshop. So by offloading it here, people have access to that. Now, if you're already a gold member or silver member, you have access to most of that material already on Basecamp and the advanced home study courses. But I'm putting a lot more stuff into this, like the flashcards, the 50 nuggets, the daily strategies, the TC2000, elaborating the 37 strategies. Those are going to go above and beyond the basics that are available to you just as a gold and silver member. So if you are a discount program participant, you know that you know the price of the library card is discounted as well. So that's a good deal. That's going up to 10 grand on 1 April if I keep it open. I may just decide quit messing with it. It's a lot of administrative headaches, so I may just get rid of that discount program in the future. But if you're already a discount program member, that's good for life. That's always going to be available. I'm never going back on that, but I just may close that program on 1 April. I haven't decided yet. If I don't close it, the price is going up to 10K, but those are the two choices I'm struggling with right now. Anyway, that's what the learning strategy, learning management system is going to look like. And I've got about 1,000 hours of additional course material from our 10 years of research weekends and all the live trading workshops we've done. I've got thousands of case studies from live trading workshops where we show all of these same techniques, where we hammered out all of the techniques. There's so much gold in that. I can't stand it. So I've hired my chief of staff and some interns to start turning that stuff into courseware. So we'll get that built out. So there could very well end up being 30 to 40 structured courses inside this learning library. And so I'll sell those at a la carte, but also sort of a library card for people that want to, explore fully. So that's what's coming. So thanks for hanging in there, guys. Appreciate your efforts. And we'll take it from there. Yeah, I see your question there, Luke. You got more time to think about that, Luke. You have a 3-month extension on your decision making because of the previous support. So we're going to do the right thing. I need you and Joe really working hard together. And I think Worth and Kim and Bob, I think you guys need to get it together in that coaching group and in the coaching area and do the same thing that the Euro guys are doing and get a bulletproof kind of a small business, practical man approach to getting exactly what it is that you need. And I would guide you guys to focusing more on the basics of what you're doing than spending a lot of extra time in the learning strategy area. I would coach you to get focused and drill your basics, following Joe's guidance, and I think what Kim's doing. That's the way I would steer you, honest to God. So take good care on that. Hello to Thomas. Welcome aboard. And that's everything I got for you guys tonight, pending your other questions. Yeah. I'm going to shut off the recording there, but I'll stick around for a few questions if you got any. I got to get that processed.